Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another session of iProsTV. So excited about our session today. The relaunch of our life insurance products here at iPros. We started early on with Crump, a phenomenal organization. Maria Cuevas, very supportive. Unfortunately, as an organization, we were never able really to connect effectively with Crump. They lacked that human touch as far as a representative. That could really embrace iPros as a partner and provide the training and development that we needed. Through our expansions in other states, I was fortunate enough to come across our new partner, which we'll meet today, Emmanuel Villasenor, and I was really impressed by what he's doing in the Arizona market, his team, the training and development that he offers. So we're really excited about partnering with him, with iPros, to relaunch our life insurance division. So this is a product that we've been meaning to launch for the longest time. Our agents have been asking for it as a form to complement their income, so they can tap into their current book of business. So today we're going to talk about how we plan to roll this out and more details. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So I'll work with our technical team to go ahead and launch. I hope I did this correctly here.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Awesome. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the rollout plan. We're going to talk about having the right products for your client. I'm very impressed by the product portfolio that we are now able to offer to our agents through reputable organizations that have been in the industry for years. And that's important because at iPros, it aligns with our current health plan partners, healthcare carriers. So as far as companies that have been around for a long time, reputable, that offer great products. We're also going to talk about the important subject of compensation. Compensation not only is important for the product we offer now through Medicare and the IFP market, but compensation is really important for the life products as well. So I really wanted to align myself with companies that would allow us to offer the most competitive commission tiers to our agents. And I apologize, I'm a little tongue-tied this morning, but I'll get through it, right? And then we're going to talk a little about the next steps to get contracted. Let's see here. Our iPros rollout plan, let's talk about why now. We're entering into the Medicare annual enrollment period as well as the individual and family plan enrollment period. So in reality, once these go live, our administrative team is going to have time on the back end to really refine the process for this new product when it comes to our databases, our commission processing systems, our landing pages, so forth. So I think from a timing standpoint, this is actually the best time for us because agents are out busy selling during this OAP and AAP, and allows us a lot of free time in our administrative duties to go ahead and refine this product. Having the right person to lead the way. Again, I touched at the beginning on how important it was to really align ourselves with somebody that could really embrace us and provide their expertise through training and development so that our agents are well equipped to go out there and build this new book of business. As far as having the right products, I mentioned it early on again, vetted the companies that we're working with. These are companies that have been around for a really long time. They're not going to go anywhere. The same concept applies to Medicare. We want to align ourselves with companies that are going to go into a market and are going to stay in the market. And that holds true with also the life companies that we're going to be working with. And then training and development, which is a critical piece of any company. It's not enough just to have the product. It's how do you roll it out? How do you educate your agents? How do you train them on the tools, the selling points, the demographic you could target, et cetera? So with Emmanuel, we're going to be working together not only to tap in on his knowledge, but also bring the knowledge we bring to the table in training and development so we can really build a strong team because we're here to produce at the end of the day. So that's the important piece. Production, right? Now I'd like to introduce Emmanuel Villasenor. Emmanuel has over 17 years experience selling life and final expense and other products. I think that's really important. I want to compare his story to my story very humbly. I too sold Medicare for many, many years. And I think that's important because when you bring back that knowledge from an administrative perspective, a training and development perspective. It's important that we've walked in your shoes. So Emmanuel has walked in the life agent shoes for many, many years and has a lot of knowledge that he wants to share with you, that he needs to share with you so that we can be successful in the launch of this life insurance product. He's been a recognized top producer, agent, and manager. Actually, a few times I've contacted him, he's away receiving accolades and prizes around his team sales and individual sales. So it's somebody that I know is really going to be a great mentor for you as you enhance your career if you're doing life, or if you're just starting. This is the perfect storm for you to get started with this product. And then we also want to tap into his expertise in training and development. So without further ado, I want to introduce this gentleman to my left, Mr. Emmanuel Villasenor. Welcome, Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be on iProsTV, and I'm really excited about what iPros wants to do and what we want to all do, which is give everyone the opportunity, if they choose to get introduced or to start doing the life products that are out there. And in my career, a lot of similarities to many of you, which is when I first started, all I was doing was life insurance, and I was tunnel vision. I was just thinking of life insurance, and then when you start doing health, you start seeing a whole new world. Well, many of you probably are on the opposite side, where you've been doing health, you've been having that tunnel vision, which you need to do in order to be successful. But sometimes it's good to see opportunity and to understand that you want to complete that circle for your clients. They trust you and they want you to help them out. And many times life insurance can be the right product. And in my experience, from the years working, it's really neat to see a family that gets a huge benefit when somebody passes away, because on the worst day of their life, you feel that you make a difference. So it's another feeling that you can have. It's great on the Medicare side to know that you're taking care of a senior to live longer.
Mm-hmm,
but
correct.
Unfortunately, no matter what carrier, no matter what doctor, eventually that day will come, and it's a great thing to know that you can also be their agent on that particular situation with some life insurance products.
Very well said. It aligns with our core values of both products. Again, we're helping people, we're educating people. I know through the Medicare process, we're educating them on how to maximize their benefits. Mm-hmm. In this case, through your expertise and through the carriers that we're going to be contracted with, mm-hmm. we're going to be able to educate them on how they can protect themselves, right? For a loss of a family member or maybe long-term savings program. So we'll dive a little deeper on that. And again, thank you. I hope you had a nice flight from Phoenix.
I am. I enjoy this 85-degree weather. I step out of 103 into 85. So I definitely enjoy the change. And one of the things that I enjoy is this new challenge to help this sector, which is the Medicare agent. Just like I wouldn't help before. It's one of the things, of course, we like the opportunity to make more income.
Right.
But
who doesn't, right?
Who doesn't? But at the same time, I think that I love the opportunity to help the client as best as we can. And life insurance can definitely do that for them.
Well said, well said. Let's talk a little bit about having the right product through feedback from our agents, through my own personal feedback. I felt that we needed to add specific products to this division. And one of them is term life insurance, right?
Correct.
It's from what I understand, and I've never gone down the road of selling life. I've always stuck to the health insurance products. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, putting myself in the agent's shoes, we're leaving dollars on the table, right?
Correct.
We have a captive audience. They've entrusted us with their healthcare benefits. I'm sure they're going to entrust us with their life insurance products, right? So I think it's about asking those right questions, probing, and we'll dive a little deeper on that. With us, I'm sure we have on attendees today in the session experienced agents that have already been selling life for years mm-hmm. through other companies, but I know we have a large group of agents that have never sold life before, and that's one of the things that have held me back from getting into life when I look at my past years, is not having the right teachers or the right mentors, and that's my goal, right? To create an environment where we're educating, we're training our agents to comfortably transition from the healthcare sale to the life insurance sale. So that's where we're going to be picking your brain respectfully and making sure that we have those.
Exactly. I mean, life insurance to be honest, a lot of people, when I introduce myself and I say, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" That conversation, and you say life insurance. Oh, that's the hardest, or and it's just because of knowledge. But once you get that knowledge, once you figure out, how to do it, and about the underwriting and a couple of things that you need to understand first. It's not. I never gotta call it easy, but it's a simple transaction. It's protecting a family, it's helping them out, and I really value whoever's doing Medicare, because to me, from the outside looking in, it's so many products and so many things, and to me, life insurance is easy. So it's one of those things where at the end of the day, we want it to both be something that you feel very comfortable doing, and when you're sitting across a client, if you're doing a Medicare signing, great, but there's a lot of other opportunities that you have the daughter that's helping somebody out, or you may have that client that they only know you as iPros insurance professional, and just naturally they ask you for a life product, and many times we don't do that, or let me refer you to somebody. Well, now you can be that person that helps them out and helps them out properly with the right carriers.
Interesting. We jumped over to the next slide. Want to talk a little bit about the demographic, the age groups that we're targeting. One of the things that I think we're overdue in really pushing, really promoting the life products is not only do we work with seniors, but through the individual family plans, through the California Exchange, through the Colorado Exchange, through the federally facilitated marketplaces in the other states like Arizona, for example, we're dealing with individuals 18 through 65, right? Those are the vulnerable population that we're dealing with. So the term products, you want to talk a little bit about the age groups and the product for term?
One of the things with the, and it has 8 names, the FFM, the ACA, the
depending where you're at, right?
Depending where you're at. But many times, these clients are qualifying, families are qualifying for huge subsidies. And before they got on the phone with you, before they even had the appointment made with you, they were ready to spend $200, $300. They were ready. And thankfully, they qualify for a huge subsidy. And many times, they'll almost say, is that all? You're telling me I have to only pay $0 or something like that? So it's a good opportunity to say, hey, we took care of this. We can also see about taking care of your life insurance. Now, term insurance is from 18 to 60. The reason that I'm describing this particular product is because it's one of the fastest growing products out there. Is through a carrier called SBLI. And one of the things that they have that, to me, I've been doing insurance, as you said, for 17 years. This is the product that I was calling colleagues, and I was saying, you need to do this, because it has that technology and the insurance company got together, and that's a good thing, just like we're doing here with iProsTV, when technology and insurance get together, and they came up with these fast, immediate underwriting. It's a robot. You put in all the information, you click next. Automated. You click next, and within 5 minutes, you already know if your client got approved.
Wow.
That doesn't happen in life insurance. And many of you probably didn't enjoy life insurance because of the underwriting or because of things like that. Well, this particular product has that. So from 18 to 60, they qualify for this product. But we understand that sometimes you may be sitting across a 65-year-old, of course.
Right.
So there is products all the way to 75 that we have. And what we want to do is we want to tell you the situations where one carrier might be better suited for that client than another carrier. So it's impossible for one carrier to be the one and only. Anybody 18 to 60, we have one particular carrier just because of the speed and the price. They have a really good price. They're trying to come in and make an impact on the market. But we also have these other companies. We have SBLI, which is having that immediate response product. But we have National Life Group, which we'll talk to a little bit more, which is one of the number one carriers right now in the country. It's been around for over 100 years. And then, of course, you have the 8-pound gorillas such as Mutual of Omaha, Ameritas Life, and Assurity. So each of these companies, we have access to many carriers, and we can talk about carriers all day. But we feel that it's a good use of our time to have these 5 carriers because they all have a little bit of an edge, and we'll find out and we'll explain to everybody what that edge is. And you don't have to worry about learning them all right away. The situations will basically come up, and then we'll let you know which one works the best. Assurity, for example, they're priced for anybody between 45 and under is not the best.
Right.
But their price from 45 to 65 is
Right.
one of the best in the country. So they got together, I'm sure, in a table just like this one, and they decided who their market is, and they went after the older market on a term basis. So little things like that we've been kind of finding through trial and error through these years of experience. The good thing about it is you have, in this particular chance, you have myself, but behind me there's many people that help me out in learning how to do this better. And the end of the road is to have the client being covered.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's what we're looking for. We're looking to be able to feed our agents information such as what age groups are good with each particular company, right? I think those are important. That's where our role and responsibility is going to be working together to distribute, to send out that information so our agents are well equipped. Like the Medicare products, we have over 20 carriers, for example, in LA County. Do agents get certified for 20 carriers? They don't. It's overwhelming. Agents tend to hone in on, we encourage agents to hone in on 4, 5, 6 core plans.
Correct.
In their respective county and then run with them, right? And as the client wants to step outside of that core plan, we're ready to be able to certify or add that product right away, right?
So
this is the same
philosophy.
concept.
We're having a parallel. You know, insurance has a lot of things that are the same and a lot of things different. But one of the things that is the same is, as a broker, our goal is to find the right carrier for the client, not only because of pricing and coverage, but also because of speed. And the clients appreciate it when you have the right approach to their business. So having these five carriers to start with, they all have their particulars, and we'll have opportunities later on if that's something that you guys, behind the camera are interested on. We can definitely work and talk about each of them of them. But at the same time, we're doing the homework for you, and we figure out these ones are the ones that worked out really well with our clients in particular.
That's great. And I talked about why now. We're going to be utilizing October, November, December to finish building out our landing pages. So you'll be notified when our landing pages will be ready, which will list all our carriers. For example, we're talking about 30 different companies that we're aligned with for this launch. But those will be listed on our landing page as well as reference guides, et cetera. So more to come. Today's session is to get the word out, to get you thinking about selling life insurance through iPros. Some of you are already aligned with other companies, which that's okay. But we have been careful to make sure we align with somebody that we can offer with an organization, a national organization that we can offer competitive commission rates,
correct,
strong carriers, et cetera. For those of you that have never sold life, we plan to dive deep on best practices, prospecting, just so many things that we're going to be putting out there, a lot of content that we're going to be putting out there through iProsTV. So look out for those sessions coming up very shortly. We're already planning on our next session, which is Life Insurance 101, where we just start from the beginning, right, from the basics.
Correct. I mean, we're not going to assume that we all know anything. We got to take it from the beginning. But one of the best things about it is that we are going to still talk like insurance agents.
Right.
We understand you already know a lot of the concepts. You just have to come in and get them aligned with the life insurance side. But we understand that we want to all use our time wisely, learn, and be ready to go. So we try to make it as compact as possible, but also as knowledge heavy as possible.
Great. Can't tell you how many times I've sat across new agents that have joined iPros. Actually, 2022 has been a great year for iPros when we look at organic growth, agents coming to us. So that's really exciting. Historically, Emmanuel, we had to go out and really heavily promote ourselves, really go out and recruit, in a sense, agents, right? We're at a stage now, fortunately, where now agents are coming to us, which is great. We're not perfect, but the good things that we do, the word's getting out there.
Correct.
We're having agents contacting, hey, we like what you're doing, we want to be part of that. And as I'm interviewing and as I'm interacting with these agents, time and time again, they're asking, do you offer final expense? And I gave them that answer. Unfortunately, we do not at this time. But I'm happy to say that we do now. It's a product that, again, just constantly comes up in our conversations about, do you offer final expense? And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you so you can talk to us a little bit about final expense. Who should they be already prospecting? We are going again with the tongue-tied situation here, but who should they be prospecting? How do they get prepared? And I'll move on to the next slide. You can tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah,
product.
I mean, final expense is usually the client that we're servicing on the Medicare side will have a request for a final expense product, or something that is very easily transitioned from helping them with their Medicare, having another visit with them and talking to them about final expense. 45 to 85-year-old client is the one that can apply for final expense products. We're aligned with companies such as Mutual of Omaha. And one of the things that they do is they have underwriting, which is kind of like a waterfall, basically, or like levels. I like to think of when you're doing that application, it asks questions, let's say 10 questions that are very, very difficult questions, such as, are you in hospice? Do you have a terminal illness? Well, most of the time the answer is gonna be no. Then you get to move to section B, where the questions get a little bit easier to answer, and then you get to move on to section C. So the way about it is, a lot of companies have very difficult underwriting. We have found the right companies that have the underwriting that you can be there and be out of there in 20 minutes, answer that application and get them covered. And one of the things that I enjoy the most about final expense that is very straightforward, is telling the client, hey, we are here to help you have an amount that your family has on that last day, help out with all these final expenses, and they can select an amount. We have companies that will start at as low as $2,000. Maybe that person just wants to leave just enough for a cremation,
Right.
And that's okay. But then we have a product that will do up to $100,000 for a senior. So it's all about training. We'll talk about that, in future sessions. But once you figure out that you can answer, do you offer final expenses, and your answer is yes, and then you gotta ask the right questions to find out which particular product works best for them. And that's what we're here for. That's what I want to help everybody out, being able to answer those questions and have the right product right away for them, with companies that, as you mentioned, have been around for years, and some of them, have a nice reputation of paying really, really fast. And that's what we want to do. And believe me, that's going to help you with everything else. If people talk about their Medicare service, but they also will say, it will be very, very loud, the noise that somebody will make when they say, Emmanuel helped me with my dad's funeral, or help me with that final expense.
Word of mouth, right?
You should talk to them. They can help you out. That could be a great lead generator for you guys as well.
And if they're not already aging in, they know somebody that's already aging to Medicare, may need healthcare insurance. So from a cross-sell perspective, I'm excited. I knew it already, but I'm excited now to really get this going, because these two products align very well. And I may be stepping ahead of the game, but with some of the questions that I get in that interview process with the agents is, are there leads? Can you buy leads specific to final expense? What are your thoughts on that? What are you doing different when it comes to generating business for this particular product?
There's many ways to get leads. There's many companies that specialize on final expense leads, and to be honest, they're good companies out there. I'm not gonna say that, but sometimes the cost that you pay for that lead and what you get don't compute as well. One of the things that we have been doing in Arizona is that we do face-to-face lead generation. Now, there's a huge advantage of doing the life insurance side, because, as you know, with Medicare, there's so many restrictions.
Right.
Well, when you have your life insurance hat on, it allows you to be a little more approach people, that allows you to be a little more open. And what we have done is that face-to-face lead generation.
From a regulatory, right?
Yes,
you can,
regulatory.
Medicare is very restrictive.
Correct. So this allows you to have a different hat on, to be on a different, different signage, everything else, to be able to still be on those areas where you have made a great connection at that particular store, or anything else, where you say, hey, once this is over, you said, okay, if I come back and do some marketing for my final expense side or for my insurance side,
right,
and they probably gotta say yes. They had you there for weeks and months. You might be able to do it again. And so what we have done is that face-to-face lead generation, to me, it works really well. We do it the right way. We're not bait and switching. We're not doing any of that. We're telling people, hey, you probably have questions on life insurance, and we are professionals that know how to help you with that.
Right.
And it has worked out really well in our agency in Arizona. On average, we're getting 100, 200 leads per week of people that say, they're not saying I don't have my checkbook ready, but they're saying I wanna listen what my options are.
Yeah.
And that's all you want, And then imagine if you go through your book or right now when you're revisiting people or anything, if you tell them, by the way, I now help people with their life insurance. How many clients will say, I would like to hear that, So it's a great opportunity for cross-selling. That's important.
Let's talk a little about the Arizona market, specifically from the consumer standpoint. And for example, we have Chinese agents that sell through iPros, right? And a lot of them, all of them, I would say, sell life insurance. And asking them, how is life insurance accepted, sought after from this community? And from what they tell me is that the Chinese individual Chinese families are pro life insurance. They want life insurance to protect their families. How does that look? What does that look like in the Hispanic household? I know when I first started years and years ago, trying to sell life insurance. At the time, Hispanics were not on board on looking at that from a protecting their family tool, right? It was more of, when I get old, my family will take care of me, or I'm not going to take things with me, right? What is that, the typical Hispanic saying? I'm not going to take the material things with me kind of thing, right? What is your perception of that market nowadays, Hispanics, when it looks to protecting their families through life insurance?
Our agency base is 90% dealing with the Hispanic market. And one of the things that I believe is happening is that the children that were 5 years old, they're now in their 30s. They have been seeing how important it is to have those products. So they're
Americanized in a sense?
Correct. They're telling their parents, hey, there's a better way than just leaving us with the burden of having to bury you. There's a better way than my dad passed away and mom is now a widow with no money coming in, So I do see a big change. It's coming together in many different things on the Hispanic market. 10, 20 years ago, the votes from Hispanics were not really there. They're starting to come up. There's a lot of good things happening on the Hispanic market. And in particular in Arizona, where I can tell you my experience is that it's very sad whenever there's a client that they're paying high premiums for their auto insurance, for example. And I know that some of the people here do auto insurance.
PNC, right?
Property and casualty, And there's this concept that a lot of clients don't know, where I ask them, hey, $100,000 coverage that will come to your family as when you passed away, how much do you think that is? And their answer is $200, $300, because they've been paying high premiums for property and casualty. And when I say, no, it's only $20, it's only $30. So a lot of it is just knowledge. And once they have that knowledge, they'll go for it. We like to keep it a secret, but there's a lot of people, there's a big change in the Hispanic market. And many of the carriers are starting to get it. As you know, United Healthcare, there's many carriers that have it in their bulletins. We need to go after that market because they know that in order to grow, it's a market that is definitely exploding. And life insurance can be that. And we have companies, if you happen to have a client that doesn't have qualifications for Medicare, right, because of social or anything else, we have we can transition now. Well, let me take care of your.
So there's products for undocumented.
Correct. So there's products. There's products for people that don't have a Social Security. That if they have what is called an I-10 or an individual tax ID number, if they have that, we have companies that are taking them. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons why they're becoming one of the number ones in the country, because they are taking that particular market. Now, this is something that we learn through sessions like this, iProsTV. They're not putting a huge advertisement saying, hey, by the way, we now take people without a residency or without papers.
But we run into them.
They are.
Yeah. No, and we do a lot of community outreach. I have some agents that I can see that are attending today's session that do a lot of community outreach. They're in the swap meets. They're in the Hispanic market.
Correct.
So these are locations where you're going to run into the undocumented, and they're looking what is their product for me. So another lead generation opportunity. income generating opportunity. So thank you for sharing that. So we have individuals from 45 to 85 years old, aligns with our Medicare products. There are underwriting requirements, right? You said there's underwriting requirements.
There are
but no
underwriting,
exam,
especially on final
right?
expenses. They are underwriting requirements, but we find companies that won't do exams. We have companies that will do exams. You know, we have all these different variables, but one of the things is the answer we want to give to the client is yes, you will be covered. You know,
Awesome.
and that's important.
Awesome. So let's move on to the next slide here. Let me see. Hopefully, I'm doing this right. Quickly, can you touch on the companies that we offer final expense through?
Mutual of Omaha is one of the best companies that we work with. Their speed of paying is what's important, you know. And when I first started in this business, I was doing it to make a living. But once you have your first claims, once you have the first people that passed away, then it's so important to know that you have
right?
that you have the right product,
right.
you know.
Right.
So I have been using Mutual of Omaha for years, and it just feels good how quick they are to answer, how good they are in their service to the clients. Well, even if they're just changing a bank account, or if they just had, you know, their mom or their loved one passed away, you know. And then Transamerica is like Pepsi and Coke, you know. They're right there,
The brand name,
right there competing with Mutual of Omaha. Great Western, it's been around for years, but one of the things that they have a guarantee issue product, and that's important. Obviously, we want to have the knowledge to qualify somebody if they can qualify for a regular policy through underwriting. We want to do that because the price is lower, but sometimes it is what it is. They just got diagnosed with cancer, and now they give us a call.
Right.
You know,
right.
they just got some big problems, so we
Priority
have
just stepped up to
correct,
one, right?
correct. And instead of
Right.
saying, "Oh, too late," now we say we have the right company. So we have Great Western, which is a company that has a guarantee issue product, as well as National Life, which is having their whole life product, and Assurity, which is concentrating a lot into the senior market. So what they did and we'll learn more throughout it is they were not around in price wise, and then eventually they came in like 25-30% lower price than Mutual of Omaha, and so you're like, okay, who's this? And we need to start talking to them. So that's one of the things, you know, this is a constant move. The companies change product and everything else, and you guys know, I mean, being in the Medicare, I'm sure you
Benefits
have
change every year.
benefits change all the time. Now, life insurance is not as volatile as Medicare is, which is good.
Right.
But at the same time, things are always changing. There's always new products, but we don't want to overwhelm everybody with all these new products and everything else. So we kind of came up with the core carriers, and then we take it from there. But Assurity got into these core carriers because of price, and
Awesome.
that's honest. Is sometimes the client loves everything you're saying, but they want to hear a good number when you say it.
And we're used to that scenario. When you look at the IFP market, you have major brand Coca-Cola, Pepsi branded healthcare companies that are known nationally, and then you have your regional players, and the consumer goes based on price on the IFP market. So our clientele base is already accustomed to that. They shop by price, not by brand. So
Correct.
Important to note. For purposes of time, we'll quickly touch on permanent insurance. I know when we talked about the product that we wanted to focus on, you looked really excited about it.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the permanent insurance.
So permanent insurance, basically, there is term insurance, which is your coverage for a specific amount of time, and then you have final expense, which is your coverage for, let's say, the last expenses somebody's going to have. But there's this market, which is the permanent insurance. Somebody who's not on their 60s, somebody who's on their 30s, on their 40s, 50s, who doesn't want to have that risk of, well, what if I live longer than 20 years? What if I live longer than 30
And we're
years?
living longer.
Correct.
People are living well into their 80s, 90s.
There's a huge market is growing so much on having permanent products. Now, they're not your old permanent products, you know, which was just your whole life. Now we have these particular products at Index Universal Life, which is a product
I've been exposed to them known as index, but one in the same, permanent index, one in the same.
Correct. So Index Universal Life, where now they're doing more than one purpose with that payment they're doing every month, where now they have the coverage, but they're also some of that payment that they're doing is helping them build some type of cash value that a lot of clients right now, we discuss clients that maybe didn't have their citizenship,
Right.
or that might be the only way that they can put money away for retirement.
And these are available?
And
to
these
them
are
probably?
available
Even
for
if,
them.
And then during the time of payout,
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. So they can have a product that can help them out with what are called permanent products that can build for them. You know.
Great.
Now,
well,
here,
you talked a little
the
about
company,
right?
National Life Group has been growing tremendously since 1848, and these companies have been around for a long time. But one of the things that makes them different is their living benefits. And living benefits are basically access or accelerated policies, which means that if you're covered for, let's say, $100,000 and you have a terminal illness, you get 90% of that policy advanced to you. That might be a life-saving situation. We also have what are called the critical illness, where if you get cancer, heart attack, stroke, renal failure, you get accelerated up to 80% of your policy. We have seen already, doing this for a while, we have seen it where a client gave us a call and they say, we just got diagnosed, this is going on. And life insurance is great, but life insurance with living benefits is even better, because now you get to say, hey, do you recall that your policy has this benefit? And that money is not to help the doctor, is to help that lady that will have to go to chemo in the morning and go to work in the evening. Now she has that money coming in to help them out. So it's almost combining a lot of different benefits into one. But it works out really well for the clients. And once we explain it, they really like it. And the other little thing about it is a lot of people sometimes, they always ask, well, what about me? This is for Sancho. This is for somebody else. And having those living benefits makes it where the product, it is protecting your family in case you pass away, but it's also protecting yourself in case of an illness, which we all eventually will have one.
Yeah, we don't want to leave Sancho anything, right?
Exactly.
Good analogy there. We did have a question. I was just checking in on the board, and we do have a question around, do we have carriers that offer coverage for people with no Social Security? Equal to that is people that are undocumented, ITIN numbers, and we touched that.
If they have an ITIN number, we can do coverage for them.
Both final expense and permanent insurance.
Correct.
What about term?
Correct. We can do it for
phenomenal.
term. So we can do, for all the products that we're talking about, we can do it with an ITIN number.
And again, we're going to have some follow-up sessions. We're going to do some deep dives on the carriers, deep dive on the products. My objective is to put as much content out there as we can for our agents to leverage, right? So more to come on that. Today's just a high-level launch ribbon cutting ceremony. Actually, Rodrigo, you should have had a ribbon cutting ceremony, visual set up and all the good 9 yards. Note to self. Let's move on to the next slide here. Let me see what we got.
So that's kind of describing what I just talked about, the accelerated death benefit. And it also includes a chronic illness. That means if you have, you cannot do 2 of the 6 activities for living, then you qualify for a monthly amount that you get. So imagine somebody having a $300,000 policy. They get into this car accident and now they have to need help. They need a nurse. They need somebody to help them out through their life. And having this money coming in can make a huge difference. So once we break those down, I love living benefits, and I think it makes the sales process much easier because the client is now seeing that their dollar's going farther than just doing one thing. It's taking care of many different things for them.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm having some difficulty here reading the top header. National Life Group, this is one of your preferred carriers from your experience?
Yes, it's one of our preferred carriers. They just understand that they take ITIN. Their application process is really quick. They're also really on top of their game on claims process. And that's something that you definitely enjoy. And then they're constantly working on their approval process. So they have also automated approvals for certain cases. And then whenever it's not automated, they still will try to give us a yes or a no within a week or two. So it is a fast process on that.
Okay. And we're planning to bring out carriers. So stay tuned because we do plan to bring out your National Life Groups, your Mutual of Omahas, representatives to come and really dive deep on their products. So more to come on that. Move on to the next slide here.
No exam up to $2 million of coverage. That includes term and permanent coverage, which is great. And a lot of people that have not done life insurance in a while, or maybe they're done life insurance through, property and casualty companies, when they hear $2 million without an exam, their eyes open, and that's great. And companies are starting to do that more and more often, is to take a little bit more of a risk, because they know that people are living longer. They know that more likely they'll be okay taking in that client, and that's better for us.
And now we're going to move on to compensation, which I know is one of the important slides that agents are logging in. They want to learn more. I want to touch again on the objective, on why I'm adding as a company the life insurance, and really bringing that to light, really putting that in front of the agents, because it's an opportunity to cross-sell and increase your revenue. I've heard it from numerous agents that are asking me, add life. So here we are, deep dive on life, a great carrier for you, an opportunity to increase your revenue. As far as the compensation, I also wanted to align with an organization, a national player, where we can have the highest level of compensation available to our agents. I don't want to lose the focus on our core product, which are Medicare and the individual and family plans through the exchanges, but I'm listening to our agents. I'm listening to the requests, the demands to add life, to continue to add another income source. So here we are. We do have an opportunity to offer competitive compensation plans. We're basing it on competitive levels based on industry standards. So I've researched other companies that there's no need to mention. A lot of companies that some of our agents are already affiliated with, and we're in a very good position to offer each individual agent their own commission tiers. Our model is not based on recruitment of agents. I wanted to align myself with a company that didn't require meetings. They didn't require X amount of recruits in order for you to move up to the next level.
Right.
Because I have found that model, at least from my experience, the selling really goes out the door, right? You're more important on the other person's success.
Correct.
And then that person's concerned about the other person's success.
Just keep throwing the ball.
And then at the end of the day, there's no production. I really wanted something where our agents have a product, service, training on demand.
I think
depending on what your own individual objectives
are. The name
are,
iPros defines insurance professionals. Professionals in the insurance industry.
Correct.
And by that is by knowing how to service the clients properly. And it's not called recruiting professionals. It's called insurance professionals.
Insurance professionals, right. Good point. Thank you for that. And then we're going to meet with you individually. I'm sure there's going to be many questions from agents on the compensation. Our base commission starts at 70%. Just to give you a definition, a description of who the 70% agent is, it's somebody starting from scratch, somebody that's going to need a lot of hand-holding in a good way. They're going to need mentorship, probing, quoting, marketing support, you name it. That's the 70% level, which is very competitive based on other models of other companies that concentrate on selling insurance through that recruitment strategy, et cetera, et cetera. So our base, again, starts at commission at 70%, and it goes up to the highest levels based on your individual needs. Very simple concept. The less assistance you need, the more commission you're going to get, and you're already driving business. There's already a pipeline, right? Your 70% agent is going to be those agents that need support, that need help, that need guidance, which I actually never had. I think I would have had a good mentor like you when I was getting into the insurance business. Maybe that's where my career would have shifted, but I had a great
health insurance. You've done okay so far.
We've done all right, but I myself in my life had my health insurance mentors, right, and guides. And that's what my objective is at iPros is consistently trying to support our agents, to our business development managers, through the iProsTV concept, to be able to constantly put content out there, right? And one of the things that I plan to do as a takeaway is put together a survey so that we can send out to all our agents across the board and ask them those key questions. What do you want to see from iPros for this life insurance division?
Correct.
From a training perspective, from a product perspective. It's so important to build around them, right?
Build
with them.
The best things about this project is that it's still very moldable, and we want people to tell us, what is something that they want to learn about. Many of you have never really heard about some of the concepts I'm talking about on the index universal lives or other things. And sometimes, and it happens, sometimes the people that talk to you before about these products talk to them in a negative way. One of the things that we have, there's companies out there that they love term and they hate everything else, or companies that love index and they hate everything else. Here we have more the approach of we got to learn what each individual product in the life insurance side does, and then let the client decide, not for us to decide what's best for them, but be able to offer all of them, and that's important.
Awesome. And this was an intro session, and that's why I wanted to present it as an intro, as a ribbon cutting ceremony, because there's so much to learn.
Oh, yeah.
We have about 7 minutes in the presentation. Talk to us a little bit about your scenario that you created.
Yeah,
on the compensation side of the 70%.
So this is a scenario, on our experience, going in there, explaining to somebody their need for life insurance, and at the end, signing up an application. It varies between $50 to $100 a month with the working family, your typical family that you get to see.
So what you're saying there, I'm sorry to cut you off, is from your experience, from your target market, it's the working class.
The working class,
and blue
collar,
Which is our population.
Yes, somebody that, Medicare Advantage people.
Yeah.
So what happened is $50 to $100, so we chose $80 just to kind of have a nice round number. And that's most of the time the sales size that you will see once you follow, kind of the process that we go through.
They're comfortable with that premium.
They're comfortable with that.
Good.
They'll understand that. Obviously, we can do up to $15, but then you sign somebody for $150. So the average really comes down to about $80.
Okay.
And with this, if you sign somebody up for an $80 premium times 12 months, they're looking at $960 a year that they will be paying. And this is where the contract level comes in. 70%, you just earned yourself $672 by making that transaction. Now, because the client has only made one payment, they do what is called an advance, and that's a neat thing about life insurance. The advance of 75%, so you're seeing in your pocket $504 by making that $80 sale. The rest of the money will be given to you once the client pays the 10th, 11th, and 12th month. They'll give you the remainder between the $672 and the $504. But in a quick summary, every average sale makes you about $500.
Okay.
And
the first payment,
the first payment,
then the balance
and then you
comes
get,
in.
Right. And we love this word residuals, and then you get renewals, which is
for
not
life, as long as the person's paying.
as long as you have
Okay.
the policy, Me being in this industry, I have clients that have, the way I call them is, you pay my Netflix, you pay this, That's kind of how I feel. The more clients I help, the more services I can tell my wife she can get, because I have that renewal coming in from that service, But what it is an $80 sale will make you about $500. And the reason that we felt it was important to tell you this is because a lot of times you have not dipped into life insurance because you just don't know the amount of money that is out there. But having the opportunity to help the client close that circle of coverage, and best of all, one of the things that I like about adding life insurance to your portfolio is that they're not going to talk to another insurance agent about a product. They will talk to you about that product.
You already have the relationship.
Correct. And sometimes that's a way where that other agent helps them with their life insurance, but also starts talking to them about their Medicare. So you being able to offer them these products allows you to have a little more touch points with your client. That way they don't go anywhere.
Awesome. Let's talk about training and development. We're going to be having a series of ongoing sessions that we'll be announcing this month. My goal is to have at least 2 sessions a month around life insurance to get everybody going, which includes the Life Insurance 101 training live and video. We're going to be providing tutorials and trainings around how to quote and illustration training, correct?
Correct.
The application process, prospecting methods. We already know that we're with the client. We have the ability to cross-sell. We have agents that are already out in the marketplace, out in the swamp meets, out in the supermarkets. How do you probe? How do you get those leads to be generated, correct?
Correct. I mean, we have been just like iPros has been doing Medicare for a long time, we have been doing insurance for a long time, and we have certain things that we feel that they work better. Of course, you can always try it, but try to use some of the things that we've been using because we know they work, and try to kind of piggyback on the experience that we have for prospecting, for everything else. And then when we quote, we gotta be able to show the client, hey, we are the one that can get you all the plans. Just like when you're quoting for an ACA product, you turn the computer around and you say, this is what it is. I'm here to help you. Just make the decision on which carrier you want to go with. And that takes a lot of the pressure away from you because you're no longer selling. You're more doing a consultation and showing them how they can better take care of their family.
Yeah, and you look at prospecting. We have agents that on the IFP side have hundreds of people in their book of business and hundreds of people in their Medicare book of business that you can easily send a mailer. We're going to be working with our marketing department to produce some one-pagers, some one-sheeters that you can easily mail, postcards that you can mail, introducing this new product to your portfolio, to your clients, which is within CMS guidelines, within guidelines of the IFP market. So we're going to be providing those tools just like we do for the healthcare insurance products. We're going to be offering those tools. So more to come on that. Skipping ahead here. Let me see here.
Guarantee issue products, which I talked to you a little bit about, they're great. They're a little higher on cost per month, but at the same time, it is a very good feeling to tell a client, hey, today you'll be able to have coverage. No matter if I see an oxygen tank sign at the door, there's a possibility for me to take care of you. Then we will do some training on alternative products, such as how to do a rider, which is, now we're talking insurance talk, but as you know, we can make the price of a family packet be small by having the client and the spouse rider, children rider, and that way you protect the entire family. And that can get you also in the door to later on talk to the children, talk to everybody else about their coverage.
Definitely got to add that to our training sessions. Real quickly, steps to get contracted. There will be a follow-up email that's going to be going out with steps, links so you can see what carriers we're going to be offering. It's a real streamlined process through Surance Bay. Right. Is the contracting. You get paid directly from the carriers. You don't get paid from iPros. You get your checks directly from the carrier, so there's no need to reconcile anything. You'll have your own portal. You'll be able through our platform. You'll be able to go see who your clients are and all the things that you need to keep on top of your book. Correct. Awesome. So once again, really excited about the launch of this product. We're looking forward to having more sessions with you on this product. We have a quick question here: are there renewals? Talk about the renewals.
Yes.
How does that work?
Yes, there's renewals. Most of the products have renewals. There's one particular product that doesn't have renewals, but they have really, really low price and so forth. So we will tell you everything's going to be crystal clear of what the products have and what the commission levels are for each one of them. But yes, I'm here because I want to sell a lot so I can retire and be fine later on. So it is the name of the game is to work, make the sale, but also have those renewals coming in.
Awesome. So lots to talk about. We can spend another 10 hours here, but we're going to go ahead and have some follow-up sessions with you. Emails going out. Reach out to us if you have any questions beyond what was already asked on the board. Again, we're going to meet with you individually. Every agent's need is different. Their professional goals are different. That's why we're rolling it out in this way, one-on-one, so that we can mold the life insurance compensation, training, and development around you. You're running your own business. We want to respect that, and we want to build around you. Emmanuel, excited about the partnership.
Hey,
excited about our
really
growth.
Great
partner in the Arizona market for us. Great partner in the California market. The fact that we now have platforms like Zoom, Teams, everything else virtual. There's no reason why we can't consistently be in contact with our agents, constantly posting our content so that it's readily available. So kudos to you and what you've done so far. And once again, to our agents, thank you for being part of the iPros family. I know you have choice, and it's humbling to know that you align yourself with iPros. You believe with us, we believe in you, and we'll continue to grow together for years to come. So thanks again. Thank you, the production team, for this session of iPros TV, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.